Well, well, Mr. Valentine. I thought you'd forgotten about little old me.
May have walked out of the den, Irma, but I'd never walk out on you.
Amari's downstairs, you big flirt. Here for Amari? She's downstairs.
Dr. Amari?
Yes? I take it this isn't a social call.
That song was
Hell yeah.
Hold On. It was by Three Sons, and
Were you going to say something or not?
oh, never mind. Hey, have you seen well, there's this article in the newspaper.
We need your help, Doctor. I need the memories from a man named Kellogg, but he's dead.
I know it's asking for a
I'm not
miracle.
saying.
Are you two mad?
I'm not.
Aside the fact that you're asking me to defile a corpse. You don't realize that the memory simulators require intact, living brains to function.
Asked to read. I have a statement from the mayor's office. You know, it's well, I mean, it just says here there's nothing to worry about. That it's, you know, safe and all. Everybody.
Please.
Kind of.
Nick told me you're the only one who can make this work.
This dead brain had inside knowledge of the Institute, Amari. The
Anyway,
biggest scientific
well, it's
secret of the Commonwealth.
Something to think about.
You need this, and so do we.
Johnny Mercer,
Fine.
I don't
I'll take a
think
look.
I don't
But
think this
no
song's all that
guarantees.
great, really, but
Do you have it with you?
How much of the brain do you need exactly?
That is not an encouraging question. I suppose I'll have to make do with whatever you can find.
Here's what I could find.
What's this? This isn't a brain. This is... Wait. That's the hippocampus. And this thing attached to it? A neural interface?
Those circuits look awfully familiar.
I'm not surprised. From what I've seen, all Institute technology has a similar architecture.
So the brain is still good, right?
Possibly. There's no sign of decay, so the tech is probably preserving the tissue, injecting some kind of compound to keep it stable. But there's no way to access the memories inside without a compatible port.
You're talking about me, right? I'm an old synth. If the Institute built me out of similar parts, we might have an in.
There could be long-term side effects. I don't know where to even begin with listing the risks.
Don't bother. I don't need to hear them. Plug me in, Doc.
You really think this'll work, Nick?
No idea. But we got a missing kid on the line. That's worth the...
Whenever you're ready, Mr. Valentine, just sit down.
If I start cackling like an old grizzled mercenary, pull me out, okay?
Let's see here. I need you to keep talking to me, Mr. Valentine. Any slight change in your cognitive functions could be dire. Are you feeling any different?
There's a lot of flashes. Static. I can't make sense of any of it, Doc.
That's what I was afraid of. The mnemonic impressions are encoded. It appears the Institute has one last failsafe.
Scientists. More problems. Seriously?
It's not like anyone has ever done this before. You try making a secret technology work across hardware generations out of spare parts. Just let me think. The encryption is probably meant to keep a single mind from accessing the data. So, what if we use two? We load both you and Mr. Valentine into the memory loungers. Run your cognitive functions in parallel. He'll act as a host, while your consciousness drives through whatever memories we can find.
Any idea what I'm gonna see in there?
I have no clue. But
All right. Let's get started.
just sit down over there and keep your fingers crossed.
See you on the other side.
Initiating brainwave migration between the transplant and the host. Mnemonic activity coming from the transplant. It's degenerated, but it's there. We're going to load you into the strongest memories we can find. They might not be stable. Just hold on. Can you hear me? Ah, good. The simulation appears to be working, although the memories are quite fragmentary. I'll try to step you through the intact memories and hope we find one that gives us some clue to the Institute's location. There. This is the earliest intact memory I can find.
Turn down the goddamn radio! Trying to slip.
I was such a dummy back then. What did I know about how the world worked?
Remember, you are experiencing
I think
these
now she
memories
wanted
as
me to
Kellogg.
kill him.
This may prove
I should have.
disorienting at first.
Instead, I ended up running away. I told myself I wanted to find somewhere out from under the thumb of the NCR and all their rules. But really, I was running from the guilt of not protecting her from Dad. Yeah, it doesn't matter now, though.
All 5 states have now signed on, which means that as of this moment,
Mom knew how it was. She wasn't soft, but she loved me in her way. And people always hoping for something better. They usually end up with something worse. Dad was either drunk or not around. I guess he must have run with one of the raider gangs, but
This doesn't
I
seem
never
to
really
be
knew
what
what
we're
he
looking
did.
for.
don't know why Mom
There
was with
appears
him.
to be another
Maybe at some
intact
point in his
memory
life he
close
wasn't
to
a
you
complete
in
asshole.
temporal sequence. There. Try that one.
I was the worst thing that ever happened to her. If she'd never met me, she'd have stayed in the hub, maybe hooked up with someone who didn't kill people for a living. Probably been happier than she was with me. Almost certainly lived longer. It's gonna be fine. You'll see. Whatever made me think that a guy like me should have a daughter? No, I never deserved her. Not for 1 second.
But we don't know anybody.
The thing about happiness is you only know you had it.
Let's
and
keep
it's
looking.
gone.
I'll connect you to the
I
next
mean,
intact
you may
memory.
think to yourself that you're happy, but you don't really believe it. You focus on the petty bullshit.
How did you think this was gonna end, Kellogg? You thought you could just fuck with us, and we wouldn't fuck with you?
I found another
Just so you
memory
know,
to try. I'll
They
connect you.
died like dogs. And you weren't there to help them.
Mind if we sit down?
Suit yourself. I don't remember much from that time. It all kinda blends together. I don't remember much from that time. There was always a job for someone like me. There's always someone who wanted someone else dead. I didn't care where I was going. Ended up mostly
You seem to be
wandering
getting closer.
east.
Try this next one.
Getting as far away from San Francisco as I could, maybe.
Mr. Kellogg, I'm glad you decided to meet with me.
So, you're with... The first synths weren't all that impressive. I'm good, but I'm not that good. But the Institute could always make more, and kept making them better each time. They still give me the creeps, but you have to get used to them if you want to work with the Institute.
Getting warmer. One of these has got to tell us something. We're running out of brain here. There's one that looks mostly intact. Connecting now.
And,
Are you
of
too
course,
mad?
I mean,
Putting aside the fact that you're asking me to defile a corpse.
I
You do realize
statement
that the memory
from the
simulators require intact,
office.
living brains to function.
No, it's well, I mean, it just says here there's nothing to worry about. That it's
Please.
you know.
This dead
safe
brain...
and all.
Here's what I could find.
What? That...
That's...
I'm not
Crazy
surprised.
stuff, right? I mean, weird. Anyway, it's well,
Nix.
That's even if...
Don't worry about me, Amari.
Adam
I
Bombay,
appreciate this, Nick.
You can thank...
Whenever you're ready, Mr. Valentine. Just sit down.
If I start cackling like an old grizzled mercenary, pull me out, okay?
Hey.
Let's see.
Point the way. Looking for something
I
specific?
need you to keep talking to me, Mr. Valentine. Any slight change in your cognitive functions could be dire. Are you feeling any different?
There's a lot of flashes. Static. I can't make sense of any of it, Doc.
That's what I was afraid of. The mnemonic impressions are encoded. It appears the Institute has one last failsafe. There's a lock on the memories in the implant. Were you going to say something or not?
Is Nick gonna be okay?
Yes, the connection, but that...
Sure.
We load, he'll act as a...
Uh-huh. All right.
Just...
Mm-hmm.
See you on the other side.
Initiating brainwave migration between the transplant and the host. Mnemonic activity coming from the transplant. It's degenerated, but it's there. We're going to load you into the strongest memories we can find. They might not be stable. Just hold on. Can you hear me? Ah, good. The simulation appears to be working, although the memories are quite fragmentary. I'll try to step you through the intact memories and hope we find one that gives us some clue to the Institute's location. There. This is the earliest intact memory I can find.
Mom knew how it was. She wasn't soft, but she loved me in her way. And she protected me from Dad. That cost her more than a few beatings. I never knew what happened to her after I left. I didn't want to know. Not then. Dad was either drunk or not around. I guess he must have run with one of the raider gangs, but I never really knew what he did. Don't know why Mom was with him. Maybe at some point in his life he wasn't a complete asshole.
Ah, meu, que paia. Era pra estar acessando as memórias, tá ligado? Pra poder dar sequência nos caminhos aqui. E acessar a memória final desse cara aqui, que tem participação no sequestro do filho do personagem principal. Ah, toma no cu, Bethesda. Tipo, antes eu acho que eu tava perto da memória final e daí bugou. Ah, que ridículo, velho. Vamos puxar a gravação de novo. Ah, que bosta. Pior que o cara tem que fazer todos os diálogos de novo, velho.
Putting aside the fact that you're asking me to defy a corpse, you don't realize that the memory simulators require intact.
Uh-huh. Please.
This dead brain.
Uh-huh. Here's what I could find.
What's that? I'm not.
Go on, Doctor.
Mr. Valentine is.
Don't worry about it.
I appreciate this, Nick.
You can thank.
Whenever you're ready, Mr. Valentine,
well, it's
just sit down.
something to
If I
think
start
about.
cackling
I
like
guess.
an old grizzled mercenary.
Frankie Carl wrote a song about tomorrow, or at least
Let's see here.
his version of tomorrow, which is pretty different from mine.
I need you to keep talking to me, Mr. Valentine. Any slight change in your cognitive functions.
Ah, que saco, tem que esperar isso aí de novo. Opa, aqui ó. Que mané gracioso, cara.
That's what I was afraid of. The mnemonic impressions are encoded. It appears the Institute has one last failsafe. There's a lock on
Tira no meio da
the
boca.
impact.
Tell me you have a way.
Let me we'll act as
All right. Let's get
Bora,
started.
bora, 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 bora. Você querem pra quê? Caraca.
initiating brainwave migration between the transplant and the host. Mnemonic activity coming from the generator, but it's there. We're going to load you into the strongest memories we can find. They might not be stable. Just hold on.
Sociais os de...
Can you hear me? Ah, good. The simulation appears to be working, although the memories are quite fragmentary. I'll try to step you through the intact memories and hope we find one that gives us some clue to the Institute's location. This is the earliest intact memory I can find.
Mom knew how it was. She wasn't soft, but she loved me, in a way. I was such a dummy back then. Dad was either drunk or not around. I guess he must have run with one of the raider gangs, but
this doesn't
I never
seem to
really
be
knew
what
what he
we're
did.
looking for.
Don't know why Mom
There
was with him.
appears to be another intact memory close to you in temporal sequence.
The thing about
There.
happiness is
Try that
you
one.
only know. I was the worst thing that ever happened to her. Whatever
Let's
made
keep
me
left-
think that a guy
I'll
like
connect you
me
to the next
should have a
intact memory.
daughter? No, I never deserved her. Not for 1 second.
How did you think this was gonna end, Kellogg?
I found another memory to try. I'll connect you.
There's always someone who wanted someone else dead. Sometimes just
We seem to be
roughed
getting
up,
closer.
but
Try this next
dead
one.
was usually what they wanted. Sometimes they thought they could cheat me. That was usually only when I first arrived somewhere. Didn't matter to me. I just took it as part of the job. Little extra thrown in for free. I always got paid in the end. One way or another.
Ah, sério que vai ficar travado aqui, doido?
There was always a job for someone like me. Didn't matter what it was. Didn't matter who I was supposed to kill. I got pretty good at it.
Getting warmer. One of these has got to tell us something. We're running out of brain here. There's one that looks mostly intact. Connecting now. Found another intact memory. Whenever you're ready. Is that your son? This appears to be a very recent memory. So, good news, I think.
I don't remember much from that time. It all kind of blends together. It was almost always a bar, though. That's universal. First synths weren't all that impressive. I'm good, but I'm not that good. But the Institute could always make more, and kept making them better each time. They still give me the creeps, but you have to get used to them if you want to work with the Institute.
Falando que é só um mimimi. Será que a internet ficou chata ou ele que é um idiota? Pra mim é uma atitude infantil de quinta série, o tipo de coisa que me esgota. Só quem tem traumas causados por risadas alheias sabe o quanto isso machuca. O olhar da menininha nos deixa triste, mas essa história também nos educa. Cada pessoa sente diferente, sofre diferente. Parem de ser maus, deem uma trégua.